I'm very happy to talk today with Edouard Meylan, CEO of Moser Cie, about innovation in a very traditional industry, the over 500 years old watchmaking industry. Edouard, welcome to our Innovation Connect.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
Edouard, what does innovation mean in terms of producing and commercializing watchmaking products in a very traditional industry?
Good question. A lot of things have been invented over 200 years ago. So today, it's always about doing better, trying to find new ideas. On the mechanical side, materials is a very important element, especially at the moment for Moser. We started developing, for example, the dies with the highest contrast. We're using a technology developed for the NASA, for the telescope, absorbing all reflections of light. It's called Vanta Black, vertically aligned nanotubes used in a structure. But we're also exploring smart materials. Self-healing watches would be my dream. How do you create a case that if you scratch it, it repairs itself without having to go and polish and pay money for that? So that's a big part of what we do. There's tons of possibilities. And that's on the product side. But of course, our business is also about how to sell, how to produce, how to market the brand. And that's when things like digitalisation comes into the picture.
So Edouard, you just mentioned digital channels, digitization, know your customer. I was just curious to hear from you, how do you balance the more traditional way of interacting with your customers with digital channels? And maybe how has COVID changed your strategy when it comes to using alternative channels to reach out to your customers?
To be honest, I think we were at Moser level very well prepared for whatever we call this crisis, because we've always been very close to our customers, very engaged, whatever the channel. We're very omni-channel. We don't have many boutiques, our own, but from a digital standpoint, we are on WeChat, we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we are on Weibo, we use WhatsApp to manage the sales forces around the world to interact with our customers. So we know them, we engage them, we talk to them. People feel part of a family. I think what's very important to us, and we see it being more and more important to this industry, is the direct contact. This human dimension that we lost. This industry has become so big. Some brands are so big that they maybe compensate the human dimension by using ambassadors, football players, Hollywood stars, whatever. That's not our world. Our world is my watchmakers, my team, myself, being engaged, connecting with the people, getting to know them, answering their concerns, answering their problems with the watches. And that's something we've done in the past. We continue to do, and I think that's why we're going through a crisis like this one way better than bigger brands, because we are there for our customers.
So navigating in a very agile way and doubling down on things you already had.
Using the technology, the digitalization, but not to sell watches, to connect, to engage the people.
Okay, excellent, thank you. How about smartwatches? Is this a threat for the watchmaking industry in Switzerland? What's your opinion?
I think it is for a certain segment, not for the upper end. I think the value proposition is completely different there. It's about emotions. But yes, for the entry level, I think we need to be very careful. It's threatening. I think in this entry level, we need to find a solution to grasp part of that business. And alone, it's very complicated. Think about the watch industry in Switzerland. The revenue of the biggest groups of watches in Switzerland is less than the R&D budget for Apple or Google. So we cannot compete there in developing new operating systems. So we need to partner with those big groups, bring our knowledge, our expertise in the products, in the hardware stuff, but work with them, because there's no way we can develop something that will come any close to their technologies. But yes, we need to react fast, because the train is moving and it might be already gone.
So in a global competitive market, Edouard, what do you think Switzerland should do to make sure they stay at the edge in a globally competitive market? Are we doing the right things?
From an entrepreneur standpoint, I think we have an amazing structure to support entrepreneurs. I think we have financial resources. We saw during this crisis a lot of flexibility, the government reacting very fast. I think the problem in Switzerland is not about money and structure. I think it's more about mentality. I think a problem that we have here in comparison, for example, with the US or the UK, is that we don't value failure. I think a big thing for entrepreneurs is you need to try things, you need to do things. You shouldn't be scared of failing, because that's where you learn the most. And statistics show that an entrepreneur in general, doesn't succeed on the first time. So we need to value the failure. And I think that's not in the Swiss mentality.
Edouard, many thanks for welcoming us in your manufacture today and sharing some of your thinking.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure, and you can come back anytime.
Thank you.